We're going to have a little look at some powers and roots, and there's three things we're going to look at here. Squared, like 3 squared. Cubed, like 3 cubed. And roots, like the square root of 9. That's the three things we're going to look at. Let's start with squared. Well, here is a square. If my square had one side of length 3, because it's a square, that means all the lengths are the same size as each other, which means that's 3 as well, and that's 3, and that's 3. Okay, that's what that means. Now if I wanted to count how many little squares there are inside my area, I'd have to add all of them up. And another way I could do it, instead of counting them all, is do 3 here multiplied by 3 here, because I've got 3 rows of 3, and that will give me 9. So my area here is 9. And that's why we call it squared, because 3 squared is 9, meaning a square of side length 3 gives you 9 as an area. And that's all what squared means. So let's say if I had 5 squared, that means 5 times 5, 25. I think you're pretty confident on those ones. Little note, if it's a negative, like -2 squared, that means -2 multiplied by -2. Okay, well we've got 2 hands here, one here, 2 negative signs. They're handshaking. If I had another one, they wouldn't have anyone to handshake with, so the answer is just +4. Okay, so that's squared. Now let's look at cubed. Okay, here is a cube. It has side length 3, and because it's a cube, they're all the same. Its height is 3, and its depth is 3. And you can see it's 3 across in every direction. It's actually a Rubik's Cube here. Okay, so if I wanted to count how many cubes there are in this shape, I would have to count all of them, and this is what it would be. The top layer here is 3 across by 3 across, and if I count that, that is 9, and I get that by doing 3 times 3, and that gives me how much is in the top layer. Well, the second layer is going to be exactly the same, and the third layer. So I've got 3 layers of 9. So that means I've got to multiply that by 3 again, and that means 3 cubed. 3 times 3 times 3, which is 9 times 3, which is 27, and that is cubed. So if I had 4 cubed, that means 4 times 4 times 4. Well, this bit is 16, and then I have to times that by 4 by doubling it and doubling it again, and I get 64. So that's what cubed means. Times by itself again. Okay, now we're looking at square roots. Okay, and this is what this means. Imagine I'm given this square, and I can see it has 9 inside, 9 squares inside it. And someone says to me, okay, it's got 9 squares inside, how many was on each part? In other words, what number squared gives me 9? What number, when I multiply it by itself, gives me 9? And the answer is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. This would have to be 3. And the way we write that, it's got a funny symbol. It looks like a tick, like yes, 9 goes to 3. Square root of 9 equals 3. So if I wanted to have the square root of 16, what number multiplied by itself gives 16? And if you're not sure, try a few. You could think, okay, well 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. Oh, brilliant, it must be 4. So if you're not sure, you can write them out like this to help you remember and see which one's the missing one. Okay, give it a go.